Hi, welcome back to The Horse's Mouth. I'm your host, Monica Chulich. Today, we're at the Calgary Stampede Ranch to talk to Dr. Greg Evans of Moore Equine Veterinary Center about his involvement with horses. The Calgary Stampede Ranch is located about 175 kilometers east of Calgary and covers a total of 22,000 acres. It's here that Dr. Evans talks about the connection between man and horse.
I think there's a long-standing connection between humans and horses, and I don't know what started it, but I think that both species have evolved kind of codependent on each other, and I think that's a very interesting dynamic. You know, initially they were used for work and transport, and it's evolved into typically more of a recreational relationship, but there still is that really long-standing connection between the two species, and I think it's really important. I'm involved with a therapeutic riding organization. I do some vet work for a group of those, and seeing children who wouldn't have the opportunity to ride horses physically or mentally, getting that opportunity and seeing what it can do for their state of mind is amazing. It's a really moving experience, and it's incredible. And so I really think about those experiences very, I kind of hold those close to home. I mean, a lot of times I think, I think of some of the, sort of gruff characters that I've come across that maybe on the outside appear, sort of unapproachable and sort of, gruff and sort of independent types, and yet they have a very close relationship to their horse, and their horse is almost more important than any human relationship they have in their life, and that to me tells me that the horse, sort of doesn't judge, and some of those people may have a reason for being sort of recluses, but the horse doesn't care, and the horse still loves them. And so there's always some kind of crazy situations that you get in as a veterinarian that are more interesting because of the circumstances, but not really because of the bond. I mean, the bond is unique in those situations where you get people that have never been around a horse that bond instantly with a horse, or people that have spent their life only with horses and relate better to horses than people. And those are the interesting ones for me.
As part of the annual media day at the ranch, we were invited behind the chutes for a hands-on experience in equine dental care.
So the reason we're doing dentistry on these guys is twofold. One is obviously health. We want to have a good chance to visually examine each mouth and make sure there's not any diseased tooth, broken teeth, missing teeth. We try and balance their mouth so that they can chew in a very sort of normal fashion. But particularly for riding horses that are going to have a bit in their mouth, it's about keeping their sharp edges on their teeth down to a minimum so that their mouth is nice and comfortable for the bridle, so it doesn't hurt them when we're riding them. Horses' teeth grow continuously throughout their life, so what happens is they develop sharp edges on the outside of the upper teeth and the inside of the lower teeth, which can, if left untreated, can abrade the cheeks and the tongue, and then the horse's mouth gets sore, and then when someone puts contact on the bit when they're riding the horse may have pain associated with that. So we like to manage those sharp edges. Generally with these kind of middle-aged horses like this horse is 13 or 14, they quite often need done every second year. They didn't get done last year, so all these guys are getting done this year. I've been through most of the saddle horse team so far, and we just have these last couple left for today. So this is a sailing cleat, which is a quick release cleat. If he decided that he was really going to have a fit, we could just release it with one quick release, and so it's a safe situation.
After a quick rinse of water, the mildly sedated horse is ready for some gentle dental care.
So what we're looking at here, guys, if anyone wants to get a little closer, is these sharp edges along the cheek where my finger is on both sides are what we're really focusing on, and also the sharp edges along the tongue on the bottom side. So if anyone did want to have a feel, now's the time. You can feel the before. So go ahead and I usually put my hand in palm up and feel up and all along the cheeks. Go further back. Feel along the cheeks, see how sharp those things are. Now I'll let you, and remember that feeling, because I'm going to let you have a feel after I'm done. This is as a carbide grinding wheel. In the old days, we used to use hand floats that had the same diamond carbide attachment. Now we just use motorized tools that do a little better job, a lot quicker, and you know, that's really all that's there, the motorized wheel.
The whole procedure takes about 15 minutes from start to finish. Meanwhile, the next group of patients is rounded up for the hoof exam. They're going to bring in that mare, the black and white, Mad Money, and she's going to go in the tipping chute, tip her, and do her feet. So, because she obviously doesn't stand for a farrier like a saddle horse does, because she's a bit wild. She's a bucking horse. So they don't just stand on fours and lift a foot for the farrier nice and tidy like. So they need to be secured a little bit for everyone's safety, especially the vet. So it's not a very big guy, and it's a pretty big horse. That's what's happening.
I'm doing what's called the hoof testing. This horse has been sore for a couple of days, and we're worried that she might have had a little bit of grass found her with the wet, you know, all the wet green grass. You know, maybe she overate a bit of grass and had some laminitis associated with that. Checking her for sore feet. She does also have a fairly large foot abscess on this bottom foot here, the right foot, and that's probably why she's sore. We just want to make sure that we're not missing anything before we set her down. It's not totally natural to trim with them on their side. Most of us are used to picking up their feet kind of between our legs like a farrier and working kind of with, you know, straight onto the foot. So it's a little bit, even when they're restrained and sort of on their side, it seems a bit awkward to do it in the lateral position.
As the horse leaves the tipping gate, Dr. Evans reflects on a job well done.
Some days you're sort of like, oh, another horse, but most days it's good to see them there, you know, and you know, it's, you know, we'll never be without them.
So as one of the Calgary Stampede Ranch trucks arrives to transport the equine athletes to the greatest outdoor show on earth, we bid them happy trails. We'd like to tip our hats to the great folks at the ranch and say thank you to Dr. Greg Evans from Moore Equine Veterinary Center in Calgary. For The Horse's Mouth, I'm your host, Monica Chulich. Thanks for watching.